every storm there comes a rainbow. Amazing how the situation can be strange though. In order to see the light, there's gotta be some darkness, cause hope is best seen with the backdrop of hardship. It sparks was me embarking to gain some employment. I started selling shoes at the mall and I enjoyed it. There was commission based, which meant I have a real deep relationship with my brother. His name is Ali Gabriel Clemente Rivera. We just call him Gabe. And he was born when my mom was in her 40s, so late in life. And he was born with different special needs. He was born with Down syndrome and with autism. And so when he was born, my father bounced. He split, my parents divorced, and he moved back to Nicaragua, which is where he's from. And so my brother and I have this very special relationship where it's not just that I'm his brother, but I'm the closest thing that he has to a father figure. And I took that pretty serious. My brother had autism, and so he would love to play the basketball game, and he could like zero in on the goal and he'd make every single shot, and he'd have this whole audience of people watching this little kid just making every shot. And so I had all these dreams for my brother to get his IEP, to graduate school, maybe go to college, to maybe be a part of the Special Olympics basketball team. I mean, he was really gifted at basketball. All these different dreams, and I wanted to teach him how to live the good life. And little did I know that he would teach me so much. My brother would end up being diagnosed with ALL leukemia, which is a cancer in your blood and in your bones. And so I have this picture of us having Brother Day in the hospital, and my brother's losing a bunch of his hair, the chemotherapy and the radiation have his cheeks all puffed out, but still he's got this explosive smile on his face, just like a joy bomb went off in the hospital. He didn't care that he was connected to a mechanical octopus of catheters and IVs and all that. And it's just a very powerful picture of the joy that he had in that time. And eventually my brother would teach me the biggest lesson, and that is, it's not so much how many days you have in your life, but how much life you have in your days. And so after 2 years of battling cancer, my little brother would take his last breath right in my arms, and he passed. And it was during this time that, I had graduated college, I had gotten a job at a corporation, and I was making some money. I got married, we bought a house. My parents never bought a house. We were traveling the world, and I asked the question, if I were to die in 6 months, would I be on the right track? Surely I would be on the track. But what I heard, what I felt the Creator telling me, I wasn't on the track. I wasn't on the track. And so all this pain that came up in my life, it started to, in some ways, kind of draw me back to my old ways of dealing with pain. The streets started saying, hey, come smoke, come drink, let's party it up. But I felt like I had grown too much to go back to that. And so I remember going through some wisdom literature, and I came across something that says that the Creator can make all things work for the good, for those who love Him and are called according to His purpose. And I said, all things can work for good? I said, God, how could good ever come out of a little boy dying? So I said, all right, I'm going to wait. Let's see. Let's see how this can work. And I remember going to the funeral. It was just kind of a blur, so much emotion. And at the funeral, I met a businessman. And he had done some organizational development for kids with special needs, providing therapists to folks. And he said, hey, I heard you have a passion for education. He said, when this blows over and things calm down, I would love to hear more of what your passion is, what your vision is for education. He gave me his card. I was like, whatever. And so I called and I got a hold of his secretary. And his secretary said, well, Andy's just very busy right now. He can't meet you until April 12th is his first opening. And I thought, wow, April 12th. She didn't know it, but I knew it. That's my brother's birthday. So I said, okay, let's meet on April 12th. So I go into the meeting on my brother's birthday, and we're in this big office, and I just start sharing my heart with him. I start sharing how I think we can engage non-traditional learners using hip-hop as a case study, that, you know, just like there's different elements, there's different intelligences, and I start sharing my whole heart. He's like, man, this sounds pretty good. You have anything written down? I reach into my bag and I pull out the full business plan. Now, what I wanted to do is hit his desk with this proposal so hard, I was going to karate chop it in half. But instead, I kind of helped that urge, and I just handed it over to him real gently. And he put on his reading glasses, and for the next 20 or so minutes, started flipping through the business plan. And finally, he puts his glasses down, he puts the business plan down, and he says, young man, I want to help you start this business. And we're going to do this to honor your brother. And 30 days later, I had an office, I had a full staff, and we were moving full steam ahead and making this dream of a hip-hop education company and organization a reality. So the rainbow in that storm was that I was called to not just be a big brother to this one kid. I was called to be a big brother to a generation. And I realized that the pain had given me an insight and an authority and an ability to deliver a solution to a complex problem, and that the pain was a gift. That hurtful experience would give me the credibility to bring that insight in a way that I otherwise could not bring.
Tell me, man, is it even worth it? Hustling and struggling and always doing dirt, cause you're watching for Popo and the stick-up kids. You ever for a minute just get sick of this? It's ridiculous, player, just think of the risk. You get the paper quick, then it's gone in the wind, and in an instant it could get confiscated. Illegitimate money straight flies away quick. And on the real, son, you know what we never hear. A dealer makes less in his life than if he had a career. It might come slow, but it won't get took away. Built upon the rock, it won't get shook.